What's up, everybody? Mr. G here, another episode of Mr. G's Math Videos. Today is going to be part 2 of our multiplication with decimals series. So we're going to be multiplying decimals on a hundreds grid, but today we're going to be looking at decimals times decimals to the 10th place. Our last episode, we did whole numbers times decimals. Today we're going to be looking at tenths times tenths. Let's go ahead and jump right into our lesson. So when we're multiplying tenths times tenths and we're using hundreds grids to do a pictorial representation, we are going to be using something called an area model strategy. Okay, you should be familiar with this because you did a lot of area model practice in 3rd and 4th grade. Just as a reminder, when we're multiplying in an area model, the first number is going to represent our rows. Rows go left to right. And then our second number in our multiplication equation is going to be our columns. Columns are vertical, they go up and down. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to multiply 4 times 5, I would have 4 rows of 5. 4 rows going left to right and 5 columns going up and down. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. These are our rows left to right, and up here are our columns. So I would like to get 4 rows. There's my 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the top, I have 5 columns. Now notice that first pip in the hundredth, it counts for a row and a column. So that one has to be combined. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in everything that's missing. And that way I'll have 4 rows of 5. That is going to be our area model. And then we can just use multiplication to give our total, which is 20. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing when we're multiplying decimals, tenths times tenths. Now, what you want to remember, a decimal is part of a whole. So when we multiply a decimal by a decimal, we are just getting a part of a part. This means our number is going to be getting much, much smaller. In decimals, our flat is worth 1 whole. Our rod is worth 1/10. We need 10 rods to make 1 flat. And then our little squares, those are called minis, those are hundredths. We need 10 hundredths to make a rod, and we need 100 hundredths to make a flat. Again, like I showed you in the last slide, our first number is going to be the rows, that's left to right, and our second number is going to represent our columns in the area model, and that's going to be vertical up and down. Our problem that we're going to do together is going to be 4/10 times 3/10. The 4/10 is going to be our rows, and our 3/10 are going to be our columns. Here's our hundreds grid. 4/10 is going to go on the left where our rows are. 3/10 is going to go on the top where our columns are. And now I would be getting ready to shade in to model this equation. Here are going to be my 4/10. So notice I shaded in 4/10 going left to right. And then now I'm going to shade in 3/10 going up and down vertical. Now, the answer to this equation is where these two colors overlap. So I shaded 4/10 in yellow. I shaded 3/10 in blue. Do you see the part where it's green, where they mixed? This part right there. That is going to be the answer to our multiplication problem. All we have to do is count the hundredths inside our box where the two colors have overlapped. So I have 3 hundredths, 6 hundredths, 9 hundredths, 12 hundredths. I count 12 hundredths inside that box. That means 4/10 times 3/10 is 12 hundredths. And that's how we model a decimal times a decimal on a hundreds grid. Let's take a look at one more example. 5/10 times 5/10. The first group of 5/10 are going to represent my rows left to right, and the second group of 5/10 is going to represent my column vertically up and down. Here's my 5/10 on the left, my 5/10 on top. So I want to shade in one color on my grid, 5/10 for the rows, and I'm going to shade in 5/10 for the columns. And then I'm going to be focusing on where the two colors overlap, where that rectangle is, right there. That is going to be the answer to my multiplication problem. And I notice I've got rows of 5. 5, 10, 15. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Let me keep counting. 15, 20, 25. I have 25 hundredths in the section that the two colors overlap. So the answer to my equation is 25 hundredths. All right, guys, that's going to be it. That is how we represent decimals times decimals when we're working with tenths. We use that area model. We use rows and columns. And then the part where the two colors overlap, that is going to be your product for your multiplication problem. And that's going to do it for us. I appreciate everybody watching this video. If you would like to practice this strategy on your own, you may go to our Canvas page, download the Decimal Grids PDF that I have shared with you, and then just pick 2 different colors that you want to use, make up your own problems. Just make sure that you are doing tenths times tenths. So 3/10 times 4/10, 1/10 times 5/10, and so on. And you'll be able to practice this strategy. All right, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you get notifications every single time I put out a new video. We are almost at 50 subscribers, so I appreciate everybody who has subscribed, who's watching those videos, and who is practicing math at home. That's going to do it for me. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, Manta Rays, keep on mathin'.